What's up, everybody? This is Colin from Holistic Heritage Homestead. I hope you're all well. I want to talk to you folks about cold stratifying seeds. Cold stratification is a process that some seeds require in order to increase germination rate. Many of the seeds that require cold stratification are seeds that would be typically cold hardy seeds that would naturally ripen in the fall. They would fall in place and then germinate when the temperatures rise in the spring. Real simple. If you keep in mind, as I describe everything in this video, to mimic nature, that will benefit you. That will be helpful, I believe. So cold stratification is a process where seeds are put into a moist and cold environment for a period of typically 1 to 3 months. Typically. The temperatures, in nature, they would hit some freezing temperatures. When you're cold stratifying at home in a controlled environment such as a refrigerator, which I will discuss, you want to go between, let's say, 34 degrees and 40 degrees. That's a nice area. 35 degrees, great. Now, you want it to be moist. Essentially, what you're doing is you're, as mentioned before, mimicking nature. Cold rains, moisture's on the seed. What you want to do is stimulate the natural hormonal processes that happen with seeds. And water, oxygen, and the cold temperatures will help the seeds germinate. So you're trying to increase your germination rate. Could you plant some seeds that require cold stratification and have them germinate? Sometimes, sure. But your germination rate will probably be much lower. And it's all about that rate. It's all about that germination rate. So if I were to give you some quick advice and just recommend something to you without being specific, I would say take seeds that require cold stratification, put them in a moist paper towel, in a Ziploc bag or a plastic bag, put them in your refrigerator for minimum of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days might be better. And that's it. But with that information, I think details matter, because if you have more information, then you could get better results. And knowledge is power, folks. Just like with many things or everything in life, knowledge is power. And when it comes to gardening, the more you know, the more you grow. So I will say, try to follow instructions. Find out what seeds need cold stratification, and then look it up. Just research 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and that will be your period of time. Some seeds, just to throw out there's some outliers here. Some seeds require actually freezing temperatures, okay? And some seeds require longer than 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months maybe. And those would be typically your trees, okay? So besides your cold hardy seeds that ripen in the fall and like your cold hardy perennials, and they would germinate in the spring, shrubs and trees are common seeds that will require cold stratification. Now, as far as how you do it, you can take that and you could put it into your actual seed flats. You could sow them directly in potting soil and put them in the fridge. I would say that might take up too much space or more space than I would want to use. So I recommend the paper towel method. If you could see here, I don't know if you folks can see that. This is black mulberries. These are black mulberry seeds. And it says, seeds can be sown in fall for a spring emergence. You can sow them in place where you want them to grow, or stratified in your refrigerator for 90 days. This says, sow in flats, water, and seal in plastic bag. It also mentions soak seeds for 24 hours prior to planting. We will not be soaking the seeds because these are moist. What I like about this method is I have, for example, when I bought these from Seed Cults recently, I believe I posted a video about that, the acquisition of these seeds, is I have all the information right here. I put them in the fridge, I can forget them, and when the time comes, take them out and try to plant them. It does say 90 days. I'm not a fan of rules. I think that rules are just recommendations a lot of times in life, folks. And with the knowledge and the understanding, that gives you the ability to make decisions like, would it be okay if I took this out in 30 days or 60 days and tried to plant them? I think yes. I think that the cold period will simply increase your chances. The longer the closer to the 90 days might increase the chances more, but it's not necessary. Now, I have a bit of an experiment going on. I have planted some seeds in flats. I have them outside, and they've reached temperatures that I believe are freezing temperatures, and above freezing temperatures, I believe mostly below 40 degrees. And I'm very curious to know if those seeds outside will germinate. I've kept them moist, I've watered them, and with that process, I'm mimicking nature more. With the refrigeration process, the benefit of the refrigeration process is that you're actually getting more control over your temperature and your moisture levels. I can keep control of the moisture levels. I can constantly check it if I'd like, but less control of the moisture levels and definitely less control of the temperature out there. However, there's things we don't understand. And the world of science, I wish they would admit ignorance more often, is the closer we mimic nature. They say cold stratification, 35 degrees for 90 days. All right, cool, that might work. That doesn't happen in nature. And I would argue nature is more efficient. And sure, we can mimic nature and apply our own scientific knowledge to do things better. I don't think we could do things better than nature, but we can mimic nature and isolate certain situations, control the variables by doing things like putting in the refrigerator. But I would argue there's probably science to support, and if it doesn't exist, there might be in the future, that it's the variation in temperatures which change. And perhaps reaching those freezing temperatures might do something to the seed coat, for example, that help the germination rate. Maybe it's the hitting the freezing temperatures and then being in the above freezing temperature range for a period of time. Maybe it's the combination that helps. If you folks have any information regarding that or any opinions, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to learn and love to hear what you folks think. If you folks aren't subscribed to the channel, by the way, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate the support, and follow along so I can give more information to you folks in the future that hopefully has value. So I've got some stuff planted outside. I've got some stuff that I'm putting in the fridge. And you folks also, just something to think about is, if you're growing things and there's things that typically self-seed with success, I would say let the seeds ripen. Let's say you have a few borage plants, for example. Let them ripen completely. Let the plant fully mature so it dies. Take the seeds, crumble them up, spread them out right there where you want them. Cover them up if you want or not. Let them overwinter, and in the spring, you will have more borage, for example. It's really simple. Don't overthink it, folks. Gardening is supposed to be about fun. It's supposed to be about experimentation. It's supposed to be about breaking rules, as far as I'm concerned, and trying to push the limits, because that's a lot of the fun and the excitement of gardening is taking those "you can't do that" and crushing those rules and making things happen by just being creative and using your intelligence and the knowledge. So give it a go, give it a grow. If there's seeds that require cold stratification and you just haven't tried because you were nervous or didn't have the knowledge, you now have the knowledge. You now have the knowledge to make things happen. Make things happen. What I will, by the way, is, because oxygen is important in the cold gases you want to help penetrate that seed coat, is I will go into the fridge, knowing me, probably like every day or two, and open these up and make sure they're getting some exposure to the air and sealing them again. A larger plastic bag will give more air the ability to be in the bag, and therefore maybe I could open it less frequently, but that is important, I believe. And that's it. Cold stratify your seeds. One of the exciting things about cold stratifying seeds is it gives you something to do. It's the end of January here in Zone 6B, and I'm making things happen. Starting some seeds, some Meyer lemon seeds, not sure if they'll grow back true to seed, but going for it. Got the key lime seeds going. I've got plenty of stuff already planted that I'm starting indoors. And gardening is a process. And no matter where you are, you could almost always find something to do. And part of the exciting process could be cold stratifying, planting seeds in the winter when it's super cold outside, snow on the ground. You could be planting seeds outside, getting them prepared for cold stratification. You could be inside your home, toasty and warm, getting seeds prepared to put them in your fridge, to cold stratify them in the fridge. Hope this video gave you some information. Hopefully it encouraged you folks. Let me know in the comments below anything you've learned about cold stratifying seeds, any recommendations, because this is an awesome community where we could all learn from one another. Take care, everyone.